Jason, Frankie. How y'all doing? Looks like we got some new interesting heat going on here, man. We got Dan gonna be talking about some NFT goodies. Gonna be going over the latest Veve and Ecomi little panel here with Dan, talking about some stuff. Let's see who else we got. Marie. Kevin Smith, filmmaker, actor, and comedian. Oh, he's here too. When was this panel? I think they said it was from today. I think it may have been from today. So, this is very recent. This is very new news. And yeah, we're going to be learning some stuff that's like, we're gonna see. I don't know what type of stuff is going to be revealed here. The Ecomi team always shares some very important knowledge. I know Dan is very well spoken, so he definitely shares a lot of great info. He said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in here. Did he? Yeah, this is, I'm pretty sure this is from today, 2 hours ago. Yeah, this was uploaded 2 hours ago. So yeah, this is brand new. This is a brand new panel, just uploaded 2 hours ago. So yeah. Why there's so many NFT platforms now, it's like anything else. Like when the one person, why there's so many different Ecomi YouTube channels. When somebody likes something or wants to capitalize on an opportunity or something, a bunch of people start trying to jump in. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of. That's how it works. Like one gas station comes about, then a bunch of other gas stations try to come and be out here. It's just business. It's how business works. Kevin talks for a while. So Kevin talks for a while. Let me see.
We've got a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and jump in. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'd love to hear from your perspective as someone who's pioneering a lot in the NFT space. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I mean, first off, I blanched a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's fine, Dan.
Make a move. So, Secret Stash is on. I asked anybody who's got game, anybody who's already playing in the field, can buy some crypto that's valuable in and of itself, an NFT, but then also have a real world benefit where they can actually make real world money from it. Never mind giving them a fucking t-shirt. Here's a movie. Go fucking make money off it and stuff. I was like, that would be amazing profile if we open that.
In marketing.
What blockchain was.
Kids, if you're going to throw a client into this world,
okay,
it leaves them very, yes, they could make money, but it leaves them very open for getting publicly attacked by people who don't like NFTs, don't understand NFTs, and believe me, that's a lot of folks out there. That's the best information I can give you. Michael, I know you've got to go. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Kevin. If our panelists can turn their cameras on, and Kevin, thank you for your insight and your perspective and your time this morning.
Thanks, Kevin.
You said you used to watching me on 2 times. What do you mean, my mans? Yeah, you speak normal, you sound like a sloth. I'm asleep. All right, so we're finna hear Dan's take on this. It's gonna be interesting. He always has some nice information and gems to drop. From what I hear, y'all say he confirms Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Wasn't that already confirmed, or is that just one of the brands that Alcon built? So we just assumed that was going to be coming. I don't know. Let's see.
You're going to hear from way smarter people than me right now. So enjoy.
Thank you. Thanks. So
hold on. So he talked for 20 minutes and then said, okay, here's the people smarter than me. They can finally have a chance to get in a word or two. That's hilarious. I'll sleep.
Everyone, let me move to the panel discussion here. We've got some great experts, as Kevin just said. We've got Azar Ahmed, the head of digital at Octagon, which is all sports marketing, obviously a place to play with NFTs. We've got Marion Coulthard-Levine, the president of film and content and marketing at Rogers & Cowan PMK, which is all about entertainment and culture. And we've got Dan Crothers, the COO and co-founder of Veve, which is an app-based marketplace for premium licensed digital content. And Dan, the first question for you, can you go a little bit into Veve and why you created it in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. So Veve really comes from a background of collectors and of collecting. And as Kevin mentioned, blockchain and NFTs is a perfect use case for digital collectibles. So really, our mission 3 years ago when we started this business, no one even knew what an NFT was or really what blockchain was. And our mission was to create a product that you didn't have to have any technical.
I just want to point out the fact that he has some Ron English gear behind him right now. And what's this Batman I see hiding back here? I'm peeping the background. We got Ron's McDonald's. I'm pretty sure Ron made these as well. I've only recently just saw Ron's works, but this definitely looks like the style that I've seen from Ron. So shout out to Dan for having the Ron gear in the back here.
Information or technical know-how to be able to buy these digital assets. And the whole premise behind Veve is bringing, your favorite brands like Star Trek, Back to the Future, Batman, Superman, to collectors and to fans in an entirely new way.
Oz, one question for you.
I zoned out for a second.
Your favorite brands like Star Trek, Back to the Future, Batman, Superman, to collectors and to fans in an entirely new way.
Where is the Superman? I appreciate that we got the Superman, but I need to see some Superman. That's what we want to see drop. Superman would be dope. I'm straight, but Dan is one handsome dude. Yo, you can't be saying stuff like that. I mean, we was all thinking it. Nah, let me stop. We was all thinking it, but you can't say something like that. But that's it.
Oz, one question for you. A lot of people asked in advance of the panel, is this a short-lived type of thing, or is this going to continue for the next 5 or 10 years? What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to fortune tell, but I do think the underlying technologies of blockchain and digital sort of merchandising are here to stay. There's a lot to be said about the proof of concept, sort of early adopter things that Kevin mentioned, and I know Dan, you mentioned as well, is like there's a lot of things in the space that are still kind of very version 1.0, and I think things will evolve. The type of content, the types of value, the types of collectibles that are out there will fundamentally change over the next few years, but the concept of digital ownership, I think, is here to stay.
Marion, question for you. I'm curious, do you see this changing the creator economy? Oh, you're on mute. It wouldn't be a Zoom call without someone being on mute.
Right,
No.
exactly, sorry. I think that what it does is it continues to give creators more control over their destiny. And I think that that, as Kevin said, the art and commerce meeting together is a really valuable asset. And the evolution that we're seeing with content in general has changed so much. And so for the creators, this is a huge...
Hold on, I got to run it back a little bit. I got to see what she was saying. My bad, y'all. I got lost in the fact that she has really nice teeth. She has really nice teeth. Okay, let me hear what she's saying.
Is a really valuable asset, and the evolution that we're seeing with content in general has changed so much. And so for the creators, this is a huge opportunity to hold on to their rights. And it is also one asset in their arsenal, I think, overall.
Dan, can you actually, I want to build off of that, this question of the creators, one, having a little more control, but also retaining the rights. Can you explain how that works and what that opportunity is for the content creator?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the advantages with blockchain and smart contracts is that there is always a digital record. And let's just, I like to use the example of Supreme, the skateboard clothing company, where you have lines of people outside of the door, they buy a t-shirt, and then that immediately goes on eBay and sells for, 5, 10x. Now, Supreme don't get any cut of that because there's no way for them to be connected with that secondary sale. However, with blockchain, which is basically just, an immutable record of transactions, it actually allows the licensors to be continuously part of that ongoing secondary sale. And, what we do in our system is that anything that sells in our secondary market, our licensors continue to get a small percentage of that sale forever. And I think this is really quite a fundamental.
That's huge. That's huge. I thought that when you sell it in the secondary market, it's just like the first time that it gets sold there. Like, so when you buy it, the licensor get a cut. Then when you sell it the first time in the market, it gets a cut. But anytime it's put back in that market, they get a cut forever. I mean, this sounds like a very solid thing for any licensor. Why wouldn't any licensor want to jump on board with Veve offering this? Like, you can constantly keep getting paid for the same thing over and over without doing anything, as opposed to like putting it in a store. You get credit, you get money for it once. That's actually big. I thought it was just like you got paid like twice. It upped the amount of times you got paid. I didn't know it was just a continuous thing forever. So honestly, I can see why it would maybe be difficult to convince them to allow this to be sold off of Veve. I can see why it could be difficult to convince people to convince people or licensors to let this be sold off of Veve. What is the benefit to them doing that? Because then they don't get any of that profit if it's sold off of Veve. If you go and sell it on OpenSea, the licensor will not benefit from that. So why should they let that happen? So yeah, that's interesting.
Change in the licensing world.
I actually want to stick with you because the question just came in that I think very relevant to you specifically. The question was about eco-friendly. Which platforms are eco-friendly, and what does that look like? And thank you, Jenna Young.
Anybody asking about tokens, do not try to swap your tokens. Do not try to do anything. Don't get scammed into believing that you can swap your tokens. None of that stuff is available right now. And there is already fake Ethereum tokens out here that has thousands of Omi holders, fake Omi holders. There's already thousands of fake Omi holders out here holding a worthless token that's on Ethereum that's not real whatsoever. There's thousands. So there's a lot of people who have already been scammed, and you should not you should not be trying to swap or do anything. Always wait for official announcements before you start sending things and swapping things. A swap will not be available for possibly months. And even when it is available, you will have a whole year to swap. So, yeah. Let's see. He said, I showed the app to my family and Dan stole my wife. He said 80 gems and I can get her back. I said try to sell her on the marketplace. In the future, are there plans to have physical collectibles that will have like a code on them that can be used to get the same NFT collectibles? They said something. They said something about that. Something like that. But yeah, let's see what's going on.
For submitting that question.
Well, I guess there's a lot of sort of negativity around Ethereum at the moment, just purely because of the way that works, where effectively what are called miners on the blockchain, they compete for the transaction, and every time that they compete, they use energy. So any blockchain that where you have miners competing for a transaction are generally not as eco-friendly. However, there are a lot of blockchains out there now, and I'd just like to say straight up that there is a whole range of eco-friendly options in the blockchain space. And so really you want to look for a chain that does not have these miners competing for transactions, where they just have one flat fee. The transaction gets distributed to one particular miner or one particular node. And because of that, the energy usage is significantly lower. And I'm talking like 99% lower.
Yeah, I think that my perception of a lot of this has to be contextualized, where if a lot of people listen on their phones to music on YouTube, and they're having the video play, but they're putting the phone down, right? And that's actually taking a lot more energy, and it actually has an environmental impact. When you look across very different places in the economy, there's that environmental impact. So no surprise that we're seeing it here. Oz, a question for you around counterfeits and thefts. Have you seen that as an issue in this space?
I do think I'd love Dan's take on this as well, but I do think, the thought of the seedy underbelly of counterfeit, sort of digital goods is always going to be a reality there. I think for most people, I wouldn't focus on that as kind of the primary point of NFT sort of content creation and distribution, but I think there are realities around a lot of those things that I think will just be no different than any other sort of electronic and digital sort of commerce that's out there. I would say for most, brands, probably the focal point will be, how do I look at this as part of my publishing model and kind of my content strategy, more so than just the commerce strategy at the onset, unless there is a strong sort of a merchandising angle. And for them, I would say it's probably more, again, just no different than what you would see in other places.
So Marion, it seems like a lot of the growth in this space is based around nostalgia. We saw that even with Kevin Smith, he's pulling it way back to 1994. Why is that the case? And do you think that's going to be how things proceed?
Well, I definitely think, the nostalgia factor is always going to be a very strong element of it. I think they have an endemic community that.
Yeah, when it comes down to the nostalgia of it, me personally, I can see the value of the nostalgia, because honestly, that, like, seeing Back to the Future and stuff like that, and all these old school brands like the Cartoon Network stuff, the Powerpuff Girls, that honestly took me back. So I can see that, like, that solidified this, that validated Veve for me. Seeing these brands, seeing these names, like, that validated it for me. But I honestly think that what's great about Veve is that while they have these old school brands, they are partnering with some new school brands and partnering with stuff that's currently going on right now that's going to be big for children now. Because honestly, this is all about connecting with the children of this day and age and having them on here spending their parents' money. Like, that's what this is all about. And then the best part about Veve is not only are the kids going to be on here spending their parents' money, there's going to be entertaining and great things for the parents to buy as well. So you get this thing where you have this whole family, all-inclusive family experience using this Veve app. And I think it's just genius. It's genius all the way around. That's what Veve separates. Veve is different.
That's already these collectors, and that's only growing over time. And I think that is a e-commerce opportunity and has been. And the other thing that we have seen, certainly on the content side, is these shared communities and the conversations within these communities and the engagement within these communities are very valuable. And that has only, particularly over the last, I would say 14 months, 15 months of COVID, even more than before, has spread, and that engagement has become even more valuable, which then supports the nostalgia and the collector as well.
And Dan, you have some great IP that is very much nostalgia based and community based. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your IP and why you've made that decision to go in that direction?
Sure. So, I mean, as I mentioned in the beginning, as we came from this into this business as collectors, and for us, there are brands out there that people just love to collect, whether it's Batman, Ghostbusters, even old school for me, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Voltron. And as Marion mentioned, there is already a huge community out there of fans and collectors. And even, we were very surprised to see that the, demographics in our app is really 25 up to 45. And it just shows that there are, collectors out there that have loved something from their childhood. And, let's face it, it's impossible to get an Optimus Prime in its original packaging now. And the cool thing about NFTs, or this kind of new digital collectible revolution, is that you now have the opportunity to not only own that IP that you loved, but also have that as a limited edition item that could.
Listen, I don't know about y'all, but we gonna stop it right here. Did my man's just leak Optimus Prime coming to Veve? I mean, that's all I just heard right there. All I just heard was that Optimus Prime coming soon. Like, personally, that's what was literally just said right here. I just heard an Optimus Prime leakage right here. We got some Transformers coming through. Cause, yeah, my man's Dan out here. Hey. Let's listen.
We were very surprised to see that the demographics in our app is really 25 up to 45, and it just shows that there are collectors out there that have loved something from their childhood. And let's face it, it's impossible to get an Optimus Prime in its original packaging.
It's impossible to get an Optimus Prime in its original packaging. Veve was created for them to solve a problem. If this is the first problem that comes to his mind, this is the problem that he's thinking about in his mind, do you not think that this is a problem that he's solved already? They have already solved this problem. Optimus Prime is probably coming. Hey, my man's Dan. My man's Dan. He out here giving us these hints. I love it.
Collectors out there that have loved something from their childhood. And, let's face it, it's impossible to get an Optimus Prime in its original packaging now. And the cool thing about NFTs, or this kind of new digital collectible revolution, is that you now have the opportunity to not only own that IP that you loved, but also have that as a limited edition item that could potentially grow in value.
That's huge.
Oz, a question for you. You're in the sports marketing world, of course. Help explain to me and to everyone, LeBron James.
So a fully animated Bumblebee or Optimus Prime, yo, that's going to be sick, man. I just heard that we got Transformers coming. Like, that's literally what I heard. Like, if that's the first idea that comes to his mind, I feel like we got something coming here. And that's actually going to be big. Like, Transformers is going to be huge. So, and I can't wait to see how they do Transformers, because we know Veve is all about quality. I feel like they're going to do a beautiful job at that. So, yeah, I can't wait.
Shoots a buzzer beater, 3-pointer at the end of the game, and that becomes an NFT. But I can just look that up on YouTube.
Orange bag, what's up, lady?
What's the value there? How do we help build value and make the case for that type of NFT?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, it is that point of access and the pride of ownership, the exclusivity of owning that piece of content. I think in a broader sense, and I think it relates to another question that came in around brands and how they're working within the space, is I feel like we're when I say we're 1.0, like, as content evolves, as things get more sophisticated, you could see a 360 immersive video of that moment at a sporting event or a concert and getting captured, and to be able to own that virtual ticket to go back to that point, which is, new for somebody right now, but could be nostalgia for somebody 20 years from now, is kind of the power I would want us to frame the future of where this goes with the different types of content that are out there, whether it's a feature-length film or a shot during a game. What that value is will be different for different people, but there's so many opportunities there around that.
I love that. And Marion, same question, but for entertainment. The world seems to be changing a lot, and we heard a bit from Kevin earlier. How are you seeing entertainment kind of flipped on its head with NFTs?
Well, again, this goes back to ownership and the collectible. And I think that these creators are finding ways to create a level of ownership.
Bruh, I always zone out a little bit watching her speak, because her teeth is just so nice. I mean, she has a gap and everything. Nothing wrong with that. My mom has a gap. But her teeth is just overly perfect. It's very distracting. Like, it's even more distracting than veneers. I don't know why.
The other thing is this is about their storytelling. And part of what's happening with the NFTs, and again, you know, these are all one element as part of an overall campaign. And I think that's the other essential part to remember in this world, is that the NFT, from a marketing standpoint, from a creator standpoint, is a moment and something that they add to their overall campaigns of integration. And, you know, many filmmakers, any television, you know, everyone's looking for these iconic moments. And I think Kevin's reference to Mallrats is really important, because Mallrats was not successful in the traditional ways when it came out. Mallrats has become successful. And I think that this, again, is time, perspective, the storytelling, and then what kinds of assets you can create around them. And I think that we are seeing, and we see this with YouTube, and we see this where people, or TikTok, or right, creators are being discovered throughout their own mechanisms. And again, that ownership is coming back to them. NFTs give them that opportunity. I mean, think of an Andy Warhol print, right? An Andy Warhol print became such a coveted, owned item. Think of if you had that today through an NFT, it would be extraordinary, right? But it's that kind of artistry.
Open-ended question for whoever wants to jump first.
I haven't looked too crazy into the NFT space, but you want to know what's going to be super valuable? Is there like an NFT of Michael Jackson moonwalking? Like, you realize how valuable that's going to be? Michael Jackson moonwalking, Elvis doing his move, Stevie Wonder, like really legendary ass musicians. Like, this is going to be fire. Like, those going to go for a lot of money.
A question around, you know, the legacy of content and IP, and there's a certain type of agreement that's put in place as far as who owns it, resale, all of those details. Do brands need to create different agreements with artists when it comes to NFTs?
I can jump in on that one, given that we deal with a lot of artists and a lot of licensors. I mean, typically, you know, like any licensing agreement, they're generally standardized and they fit in between a certain royalty rate. However, there are certain artists or certain brands that may have a bigger following or are a more powerful brand that may either demand or maybe we feel that they deserve a bigger slice of the pie. So we generally have a fairly standard offering, and that seems to be quite well received in with all of the licensors and artists that we use, because a lot of them coming into it, they don't really know either. And we just treat this like a normal licensing deal. If I'm going to license Batman and put it on a t-shirt or a school bag, then I'm going to get X%. If you're licensing that IP into an NFT, you're going to get a similar kind of percent, depending.
Yeah, one thing I would say is that there's two parts of that, right? There's the content creation side and the content ownership side, right? And I think while we started talking about obviously content creators in that community, that's not the entirety of the NFT sort of content creation universe, right? Like for brands in particular, I would say there's a lot of various assets, and I would argue nostalgia around some of what the brands have historically created. So while talent is certainly part of that, the thought of being able to share some of your brand assets and allow people to create variations, differences, remixes of those things, and to potentially maybe even allow those to be owned via NFTs could get interesting in the sense of badging and how you kind of allow people to have that ownership. So I would say for brands in particular, the low-hanging fruit is just looking at your existing sort of marketing strategy and the content strategy. And again, aligning that with also your audience strategy of where you think, to what Kevin said earlier and to what many have been saying, is how do I naturally extend those things that are already there for other touch points into this? And the itch that's worth scratching is, where does ownership potentially fit into this, and closing that loop for commerce around that, just as a natural extension of what we've already been doing within the brand space.
Great. I want to shift to some questions around marketing. And this first one, Marion, if you can start, but it's a question for all three of you. What brands and creators have you seen that are doing interesting or noteworthy things with NFTs? What's cool out there?
VV.
I mean, I think you know, we've seen a lot of these announcements, everything from, you know, the Taco Bells to the Pringles to, you know, I mean, some of these brands that have jumped right into the markets. You know, I think what's going to be, you know, for me also is like they got into it very quickly with a culturally relevant moment. The question is how they maintain that and create that. I mean, I think if you can create a very thoughtful campaign from start and create that longevity with it, that engagement I think is so much better. So I think that, you know, what's going to be interesting to me in the entertainment side is basically 6 months or 8 months from now, where we see the Marvel universe, where we see some of these other IPs of the comic book world where people are owning the creative. I think we're going to see a lot of production companies.
She said the Marvel universe. I bet Dan back there rubbing his hands together. Dan back there. Did she say Marvel? Good choice. They getting ready. They getting ready.
Owning their IP and only licensing it and maintaining it. A lot of original stuff coming out. And so I think we're probably 6 to 12 months from seeing the real benefit of a long-term, thought-out franchise opportunity, which I can speak to more on the entertainment side. I don't know, Oz, on the brand side, other ideas you might have.
Yeah, I would say, you know, on the brand side, you know, a lot of those, Young's been doing a lot of really good things with Pizza Hut Canada and Taco Bell. You know, a lot of sneaker brands are also getting into this space. So I think, again, there's two sort of mindsets with any sort of an emerging technology, and I would include NFTs in this. There's the pioneers and the settlers, right? So right now you've got kind of the pioneer brands going out and do it, toe dipping, you know, trying some fun things that are probably not terribly unexpected, but fun, right? Like, let's put things out there similar to what Kevin said, more from a content creation angle. I do think, you know, those ones that are there are already learning right now and seeing what they want to adjust and adapt with. But I do think, again, as the issues are being addressed and as they're dealing with kind of the downsides of some of the green questions and whatnot around things, I think, you know, you get first mover advantage around that. I do think there will be a wave, much more of the settlers that kind of walk in and say, yes, I'd like to do that, but here is how I think I can do it different. And I think some of those pioneers will be the settlers as well. But, you know, I'd say it's probably more of establishing the nostalgia today. That will be that thing, like who wants that slice of the Pizza Hut pizza? You know, 5 years from now, it'll probably be something that's much more valuable down the line. But those are all really interesting experiments to see in the marketplace.
Yeah, and from our perspective, you know, really our focus is not so much on the NFT, but all about the consumer experience. Because at the end of the day, you know, I can go out to any of these NFT marketplaces and I can buy a picture of whatever, and then I can store it in my wallet. But you know, where is the excitement in that for a consumer, for the end user? And that's one of the reasons that we build a huge range of features around what you can do with that NFT in a similar way that you would in the collectible space. You know, I've got my bear bricks behind me here. You know, I can do the same thing in our environment. It's, you know, I think it really is quite important to look beyond like just issuing an NFT and making sure that that is actually fun and it has some enjoyment for the user, because ultimately that is what's going to get attention. That's what's going to get social coverage. And, you know, potentially that's what's going to increase the value of it.
So did you all just hear what he just said? Because he just dropped an entire sentence that was a gem. Like this whole breakdown right here was just a gem. The NFT is not what's important. It's the experience. So right now we're at a stage in Veve where, yeah, the experience is there. You see the pictures getting posted across social media. People are already starting to make videos and things like that. Cool. The NFTs are looking better and stuff like that. But from his perspective, this was never really about the NFTs alone. It's about the experience that they're going to offer with the NFTs. And that's where the Veveverse comes in hand at. So basically, I mean, we already did a video covering this like, a day or two ago. I don't know. I dropped so many videos. But we did a video covering this already. But he basically just reiterated that it's all about the experience. Because just getting an NFT and having it sit on a shelf somewhere or sit in a wallet somewhere, I mean, what's the point of having that? It's not going to be exciting. It's not going to hold value, and it's not going to become more valuable. Well, chances are it's not. But if you constantly have a community built around something where the community is growing, it's a lot of excitement with every drop. It's people new series is coming up, people making video content and stuff like that. Then that adds value to your brand. So yeah, this is insane. This is insane right here. What's the rush with these people already swapping their Omi and getting scammed? I mean, if people swapping their Omi out here and there's no way to swap your Omi, yo, good luck to them. Like, I mean, well, they don't really need luck. They just really got scammed. But hey, that's on them.
One question that came in through the chat, apologies because it's very long, so I'm going to try to summarize it here. From Marion, this one is around music and the music.
Should be getting the Cover Girls drop live. No, I'm not going to go for the Cover Girls drop. I can't afford to keep getting the drops and getting the token, and I don't really care about the drop, to be honest. I would only be getting the drop just to sell it in the future because I know it's going to be valuable, especially that this is the first time an all girls brand has been released, so I know that this is going to be valuable in the future. But I mean, I don't really care about that value. I believe in the Omi token and the project as a whole. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going for the token, to be honest.
Music industry, but the idea that can we think of NFTs as a way to almost buy shares into an artist? And I suppose you could extend that to all sorts of other areas as well.
I mean, in essence, right, that's what Kevin's doing, right? Kevin is giving the opportunity. It's not just music, but any kind of content. And I think it is like buying. You could potentially buy shares into that collective, right? And then, Dan, as you said,
has the greatest teeth in crypto. I'm sorry, right? She has the greatest teeth in crypto.
And like Kevin said, we're doing this for another film project. It is a little Willy Wonka golden ticket like, so that there is a group that have tickets and then there is a group that have the golden tickets. And you can create that golden ticket moment for a short period of time, for a location, for this, that creates that excitement and creates that experience. So yes, you can. And then what happens, right, is you create another community within a community. And that, from a marketing standpoint, right, we're looking for that engagement every step of the way. And then if you can, assign a value to that engagement, that is someone has personally, then that only elevates it, right? So we're looking at all of those incarnations. And to be honest, we're trying a lot of things.
Bro, every time you speak, I can't help it. But I get you're an investor like many of us, but do you plan to buy NFT other than to sell, like the black card from GM NFT, for example? They have not released a brand that I'm passionate about. Like, I'm not passionate about any of the brands released thus far. I'm not passionate about Batman or anything like that. Batman is nostalgia. I know that it holds value. That's the only reason I'm collecting it. Same with anything else that's been released up until this point. My childhood is Pokemon. My childhood's Pokemon. My childhood's Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. Like, things like that would be something that I would collect for more than the future returns. Like, something that I would collect just because it's going to be cool to have. And if they have some type of mini game in the Veveverse, I would want to play it. I would want to play a Naruto or anime game in the Veveverse. A Batman game, I don't play Batman games that come out on PlayStation. So I'm not really as excited or care about Batman in the Veveverse. But I know that it's a huge opportunity. So right now, there's really not much in Veve that piques my interest. I just see the vision for the future. I know the things that interest me is going to come later on down the line. So yeah, right now I'm just really chilling, man. It's going to be some stuff in the future that I do invest in simply because I love it. But as for now, like, nah, this is all tactical for me until they release something that I care about. But yeah, everything that I have right now, like all these unicorns and stuff, I definitely have these to sell them in the future, man. I couldn't give two shits about these unicorns. But hey, that's just me.
So we can create our own case studies. Again, going back to what Kevin said, to see what has marketing ramifications and what actually has financial ramifications.
Itachi?
They're not mutually exclusive, but they're not always mutually entwined.
Yes, Oz, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I would just say, there is a big piece of this that's worth addressing, which is just what is our audience, right? And I think when you start talking about the audience, absolutely, we've been talking about collectors, but
No, I like Batman. Nah, Batman is not really my thing. Maybe something Marvel. Honestly, I don't really care too much about Marvel. Like Marvel's cool. Iron Man was always my favorite Marvel character, but like I'm an anime head. Like I'm really an anime nerd. So once they start dropping anime, that's when I'll get super excited. I just know the value of brands and stuff like Marvel. Like I'm more anime. I'm anime more so than anything else. Like I love Marvel, but not that much to the point where I'm going to be collecting it. I've never really been into collecting. I haven't been a collector before Veve. So yeah, the things that I collect is going to be like the shows that mean the most to me. Like if they have Beyblades or something like that, but even still, I think that would be categorized as an anime. So it's like anything that I could think of that I would actually collect for more than just the returns in the future. Anything that I could think of would be in the anime category, I feel like.
But again, are those your super fans? Are those people that are just maybe vested in a financial interest of owning something and watching it appreciate more from a financial angle? Are they people that are just playing? And the answer is probably all of the above, right? So I think what we'll start to see again as we continue to see the space evolve is what is the right sort of a mix for brands and consumers around what these pieces of these access points are, and essentially that's what you're owning, right? Is it access for me as a super fan to have?
What's your top 3 anime you want? For me, the anime that I would want to go for, I definitely need Itachi. Itachi's my favorite anime character. He's my favorite anime character by far. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Naruto. I've seen so many different anime. I always have to see a character that I really like. Luffy maybe. Luffy. Maybe like Rurouni Kenshin. Some Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know. I like stuff like Steins Gate, even though I don't think that would go crazy. My Hero Academia, it could be some of those characters that would be lit. Like Naruto. Naruto characters would probably do it for me. Like maybe a Goku. Goku would be insane, I feel like. Goku. Broly. I remember when I first saw Broly, man. That was insane. Blue Eyes White Dragon, yeah, that would be sick. The Beyblade, like, bro, Tyson Dronzer, yeah, Tyson, Dragoon Dronzer, like Kai, like those Beyblade ones. If they had some Beyblade ones with a mini Beyblade game, bro, yeah. Death Note, yeah, Death Note, like I'd get an L NFT. I'd get an L NFT. Kirito, yep. Sword Art Online, definitely Sword Art Online. That would be amazing. But yeah, what else they talking about?
That the potential of participating deeper in something that I care deeply about, or is it something that's just kind of, hey, there's something that I'm just offering up as part of a merch strategy, maybe for a brand, and just kind of distribute it in kind of that distribution fashion.
Yo, you just said Thundercats. That reminded me of Mummy's Alive. Who remembers that? Who remembers that Mummy's Alive, man? That was actually pretty lit. And it actually reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit. When I think of Mummy's Alive, I think of Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to love watching Mummy's Alive. That was my thing when I was growing up. That show was sick. I never really got into the super old school shows, but that is one that I can remember. It's probably some shows that like Rugrats, like some Rugrats NFTs. Maybe that's not considered an anime. Rugrats, I would love to see some Rugrats stuff like Rugrats, Cat Dog, Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo. What else? Let's see. I don't know what else. What else I used to watch? I used to watch a lot of Disney shows like Lizzie McGuire. What else did I used to watch? Lizzie McGuire, Hannah Montana. I used to love Miley Cyrus. I used to have her posters on my wall, but we don't talk about that. What else? I don't know. It's just a lot of random stuff that I used to watch. Like, those are the NFTs and stuff that's going to get me hyped. Like, Batman was never, like, when the Batman movies came out, yeah, I watched them. I watched them one time. Harry Potter, stuff like that. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. When those come out, yeah, like, stuff like that is what I'm more tied to and more emotionally invested in, where it's like, oh, I want to buy this because I actually want this. Nothing that's been dropped up until this point is anything that I really care about. So you shouldn't be admitting that. Listen, man, we all got things we're not proud of in life. Ed Netty. Oh, Rocket Power, Ed Netty. Beavis and Butthead, that was a good one. Courage the Cowardly Dog is definitely fire. Tom and Jerry, classic. I used to watch some Tom and Jerry. Looney Tunes, that was lit. Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. I can't believe I forgot that. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. Do you think the Fast 9 NFT will come out June 25th? It would be sick if they did some type of collaboration where you get an NFT on your movie's ticket or something like that. Like, I don't know, in some way incorporate that to go into the movies or something, or renting the movie. Like, that would be sick if they did that. And we're seeing them do stuff like team up with English, the Ron English. So I mean, we could be seeing something. Team Cavell. Angelo, thank you so much for the donation, homie. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it, fam. I thought you liked the Cryptkins and sold all your Omi to buy the full set. Nah, we definitely don't do that. That's not where it's at. Keenan and Kel, yeah, that was sick growing up. Dexter's Lab, Undertaker. Fairly Odd Parents, that was another one I used to watch. Teen Titans, The Kids Next Door. Didn't I see somewhere that Kids Next Door confirmation when it comes to VV? I don't know, I've done so much content. I think Kids Next Door I actually saw somewhere in VV. It's one of my older videos when I was first joining the community and doing all that digging, but I'm pretty sure I saw Kids Next Door somewhere. But yeah, that was one that was pretty lit. Scooby-Doo, yeah, that's a classic one. Jimmy Neutron, yeah. Yeah, see, so that's the type of stuff that's for me. Like, that type of stuff for me is going to be huge. What's being dropped right now? Like, nah, not necessarily my cup of tea. Like Jurassic Park, I was never a Jurassic Park Godzilla head type of guy. Like, nah, that's not. Yeah, that was never my fandom really. Flintstones is classic. Jetsons. Demon Slayer would be fire. I actually watched Demon Slayer not too long ago. I was late to that. Let's see what else they're talking about here.
All of it is interesting and potentially relevant for a brand.
Let me put my Mad Men hat on for a second. Should we be thinking of opportunities like saying, this classic Coca-Cola commercial is something that we could turn into an NFT, or should we be focusing more on modern types of things, doing something, bringing a new movie to the marketplace?
I would say if there's an audience out there for, the retro, which, I mean, let's face it, retro is still hugely popular, then absolutely. I mean, even some of our products that we sell, they are statues that people were collecting, back in the 90s, back in the 80s. And as I mentioned, there are even brands like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Obviously, they're still around today, but I absolutely believe that there is the opportunity to go back and, use these retro items that fans still covet.
Great. And Dan, one question that came through in the chat a lot was this question of where do we begin?
Smurfs.
A lot just at the phase of like, what platform? Where do we go? Maybe you can speak to that.
Well, shameless plug. You can come to me and I'll help you out. But I think really the main thing that you want to
Greatest
consider
teeth in
is your
crypto.
audience.
I'm sorry.
A lot of
I'm sorry. She has the greatest teeth in crypto. I gotta go back. She
Well,
smiled.
just at the phase of like, what platform? Where do we go? Maybe you can speak to that.
Well, shameless plug. You can come to me and I'll help you out.
Greatest teeth in crypto, man. Greatest teeth. Hey, yo, she has amazing
But
teeth,
I
yo.
think really the main thing that you want to consider is your audience. A lot of the platforms out there are still inherently crypto focused. And while that technology is becoming easier and more digestible for consumers, there is still quite a barrier to entry. So, and you want to make sure that it is something that your users can participate
Robotech.
in, and they are going
That
to
was
enjoy
sick.
it, and they're not going to get confused by what's going on. And that's why we are seeing more platforms come out now that, while they are like our platform, while they are blockchain based and there is NFTs in the background, the user is basically just clicking buy now and purchasing it the same way as they would do with an in-app purchase. So I would say that's the number one side of things. It needs to be easy and accessible for your audience. I think you really just need to look at all of the platforms out there and just think, does my audience know what Ethereum is? Can they go and buy Ethereum? Do they have a wallet, and do they know how to spend it, and do they know how to protect their NFT? I think that's probably one of the big questions to ask.
Yeah, I would just say in plain English, like what you need to probably break it down to is, what is digital ownership, right? Like, what does that mean for the content that I'm putting out there? Who would find that valuable? And at the end of the day, whether it's nostalgia and
She
obviously
really has
the
nice teeth.
complications
I'm not
of
trolling. She has
talent
nice
and,
teeth.
talent and rights issues from the 70s. Like,
Her
I'm
teeth
not
is
gonna
too
pretend to
nice.
understand that world, but there's probably a lot to figure out there. But then also, with new content, if you were to reframe that as a TikTok angle, and you were to create an entirely new campaign and allow ownership as a facet of that, that's what I would really look at, is what would be valuable from that perspective, whether it be past content or the new nostalgia that you're building today.
Let's do an around the horn.
Bernstein Bears, yeah, that's a good one. Another one I liked is Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants is classic. Some Captain Underpants NFTs, I feel like that would do well. That would definitely do well. Like some Divergent. What's that other one? The Divergent series. There's Hunger Games. Hunger Games would be fire. Yeah, that would be sick. Stuff like that.
We'll go Marion, Dan, and then Oz. If there's what's that one thing that you've learned that you feel like as marketers we should all know?
I mean, I would say for me, it's been such an interesting process, and what Dan boiled it down to, and is that we always address who that audience is that we're trying to reach, where the story is that as marketing communications people we are going to, and what is the simplest way to get there. And if we can make it, because lots of people are talking about it, if we can define those three verticals, then we're able to, say, okay, let's move forward to the next. But the simplicity of it is, I mean, we say this about buying tickets to movies all the time, or to downloading, pay-per-view or anything like that. If they have to click more than once to do it, or we've lost them. So the simplification is essential. And so that's how I'm looking at it. And I think the more we're getting into it and the more we're trying things, we're developing, the better way to go. So that would be my offer of advice.
Dan?
Yeah, from our side, I think, the biggest thing that we've learned is that fans absolutely love this space. Even this time last year when we were building out the product, we were still like, are we crazy? Have we invested our time and energy in the wrong place? But the reality is that people can now collect, directly from the palm of their hand, no matter where they are, and they can get those items that typically they might need to go to something like Comic-Con. And sorry, I don't mean to be so collector focused. That's just our kind of area. You'd normally need to go to a special event or know someone to get access to those products. And that's, one of the big advantages to users is that I can be sitting in my home collecting that, #1 Batman. And it just makes it very, very accessible for audiences.
Yeah, I would say that for most marketers and brands, I think what NFT is forcing is another dimension on what is content that's worthy of people hunting, right? Like, what is the thing that they would really want to own? And I think, it's hard when you kind of look inward.
Yo, so Recess gets me in that mode. When I think of Recess, also got to have Doug. Doug was legendary. Like, what's it called? I think Freakazoid. Hey Arnold. What else? Like, it was some shows. I ain't watched it in so long. I ain't watched so much in so long, man. It was some shows. I ain't never heard of Banana Man at all. It was a Bible show I used to watch. I forgot what it's called. It was actually not bad. Like, I know VeggieTales. VeggieTales is classic. I think that's classic. Definitely could bring in some nice religion collectibles. VeggieTales. It was like a whole Bible series or something. Like, I forgot what it was. I ain't watched that in so long. I used to watch it as a kid. They used to have superheroes and stuff in that show. Like, I don't remember what it was, but that might be classic. Winnie the Pooh for sure. They will need to partner in order to pull off the VVverse. But I think that being on the Ethereum blockchain means that they can. What other projects are on the Ethereum blockchain? Is Earth 2? I don't know much about Earth 2. Like, Earth 2 network, some of these other, like, what blockchains are they on? Because they might be in a great position to partner. So what other blockchain are they on? Like, what blockchain is Earth 2 and that stuff built on?
Through that lens, and it does blend that art and commerce together. To what Kevin said is, I would argue a lot of collectibles end up being junk, right? And a lot of NFTs would likely be things that are just out there and maybe not going anywhere. But what does this new method of distribution and ownership mean for things that you feel are actually valuable and worthy of people owning?
I love it. And just very briefly, my takeaways, certainly there's opportunity from geek culture, bragging rights, building the community perspective. Clearly, there's opportunity for creators in this space with royalties and just a new way to reach consumers. And there really is a larger opportunity as marketers for all of us, because we do live in this attention economy. And it seems like this is a great way to get out there. So with that, I want to hand it back to Mark here for a brief close. And if we can throw up the screen as well, Will, the slide for this. But Mark, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, no, I want to thank our panelists and Kevin for a great conversation.
Oh, you already know what's going on here. We got to make sure ain't no leaks happened here. What we got here, okay, that's released. So we know Batgirl already. What we got up here, okay, nothing. Okay, released. Nah, they ain't hit us with nothing good.
Conversation. I think one of the most important things for brands and agencies is how to stay culturally relevant. And NFTs are like esports or YouTube or streaming the original. They're at the emerging part of a new cultural ecosystem. All
right, later, Black Roses. Thanks for coming through, chilling, homie. That's what I like to see. Market Veve at the whole outro. I like it. But yeah, there we have it, man. Veve tweeted it out, so yeah, you can all watch it on your own if you want, on your own time. We was just chilling, watching it. Coneheads. Think Ecomi should partner with Facebook? In what capacity though? Like what does Facebook bring? I mean, obviously billions of people, but like what else does Facebook really bring to Ecomi? Because you could just really just advertise on Facebook and get the same thing. Like how would that partnership work? Yo, Omar, what's good, homie? I appreciate it, fam. Was there an exchange announcement? Not yet. Not that I'm aware. I don't know of any exchange coming right now. Shout out from the UK. Keep up the good work. Omi's my homie. I appreciate it, Josh. Appreciate it, fam. For the VR AR technology. Is Facebook doing some good things? I know that there's like Apple. Apple is doing some good VR things, aren't they? I don't know who's ahead in like the little the space where you actually get the hardware. I don't know who's ahead right now with that. But if Facebook is doing some nice stuff there, could be cool. Oh, Oculus. Facebook has technology for Oculus. It would be interesting. I'm sure Veve is going to think of the best partners for the tasks they need done. It is going to be interesting to see who they choose. Just got here. What happened? Just some general information from Dan. I think the most interesting thing happened was like some talk that made us believe that we could be seeing Transformers soon. Dan brought up some things like Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Brought up some things that made us think that we could be seeing a couple of new brands soon here. But I mean, not much. Just talking about. We saw the greatest teeth in crypto. That was interesting. So yeah, that was probably the highlight of the whole thing. Like we saw that. But yeah, you think Omi can reach 3 cents this year if they bring new exchanges and 2 drops a week? It's hard to tell. I don't know what type of it's hard to we don't know how everything impacts it. So let's say they list a new exchange. How hard is that going to impact the price? And also once the new tokens unlock, how hard is that going to impact the price? Because that's going to drive the price down when they unlock tokens. But I don't know how high certain things will drive the price up. So I think we're really going to see the biggest price movements and start seeing explosions and stuff like that once they get the Veveverse up. I think that's the important thing for me. Like, these slow burns and stuff like that. Like, the hype for the crypto community, I mean, we could get some crypto community hype, but I'm not banking on the crypto community hype, mainly because the bear market is coming. So, how excited are traders and investors really going to be when it comes down to this project during a bear market? So, I'm not banking on them. I'm banking on the project actually doing what it's supposed to do and the fans of these brands boosting the price up and burning all this Omi. So, that's what I'm really banking on. I think 3 to 5 cents is doable by the end of the year for sure. Potentially, it depends. It depends on how much hype we get because that would just be traders. But as far as like the value that Veve brings, like I don't like to depend on traders because you're really at the mercy of things like Bitcoin going up, Bitcoin going down, and stuff like that. I like the fact that Veve can be independent from that and raise on its own. So if we do raise this year, I feel like it is going to mainly be from traders. So yeah, I mean, some technical analysis could be good to really figure out where we're going to go in that regard. But I want us to get past the point where we need to rely on traders. BitBoy did a segment on NFTs. He's already talked about Veve. He just hasn't chose to invest in it because he was interested in other things. Yeah, BitBoy Crypto, he's gone over Veve before or Omi before, but he wasn't interested in investing. Do you think the price will follow Bitcoin? In the short term, probably. Because right now the price is only up. Based on where the price was when I last checked, let me see. Like it's all hype. When the price is going up based off of hype. Like right now, let me see. Oh, the price is starting to drop down. Yeah, see, so the hype is dying down. People are starting to get educated on what this exchange switch means. They realize, oh, it means nothing. Oh, it's going to take a while to even implement these changes. Now the hype, I'm assuming, is dying down. So it's just all hype based right now. And that's basically what most of crypto is. I think that other projects in the short term are going to be hyped way more than Omi. So if people looking to invest money for quick returns and things like that, Omi is not the project that they should be investing in. I don't think that we're going to see a huge help and boost from the crypto side of things until the Veve side of things is dominating. So the Veve versus release and stuff like that, we're getting crazy burns. That's when the crypto people are going to be like, oh, this is burning. They're burning their token like crazy. Let's jump in and try to invest. I feel like that's when we're going to see this shoot up. I feel like Veve needs to be in a better place before we see crypto have any significant impact on the price for the long term. That's just my thought, though. It's all up to company dominance. Yeah, it really is. Let me see. I don't remember the last time I looked at Bitcoin price. I don't even be looking at Bitcoin, to be honest. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's damn near following Bitcoin right now. It really. Yeah. Yeah, so we need what we need is for Veve to get up and running. Yeah, it's following Bitcoin very closely right now, it looks like. I hope Veve really advances in 1 to 2 years. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what rate that their team is going to work at. I don't know how heavy these license restrictions and stuff are. See, that's the thing. It's so much things that we don't know. What exactly is the stuff that's holding Veve back right now? So is it licenses? Is it licensors holding Veve back? Is it the development side of things? How long will this development have? How many developers do you need to get something done in a reasonable amount of time? If you have a certain amount of developers, what is a reasonable amount of time? Still, I don't know how long this stuff takes. And I don't even know their plans for what they're trying to do. So, because let's say the Veveverse, we don't need a fully functioning complete Veveverse. We could literally just have one small little area. Like give us like a small little area and lock off the rest of the map. Like lock off the rest of the Veveverse so we can't go there. Like just something so we can see, okay, this is how it's going to look. This is how it's going to be. Like, and that's going to really drive things forward for Veve. Like even if we don't, like, they could release one area of the Veveverse and not release anything else in the Veveverse for a whole year. And that would be enough for us to know, okay, they're working on this. This is coming. Because waiting for, like, as long as we see that, okay, this is how the Veveverse is going to look, I feel like that's going to be enough momentum. Because people will wait 6 years for a GTA game. Like, people will wait 6 to 10 years for a new GTA game. So, waiting for the Veveverse, as long as we know it's being worked on, it looks solid, this is how it's going to be, these characters, these textures, it's high quality, then I feel like we can... Like, a lot of people will stay excited and stay motivated. But if we don't get any signs, any hints, any nothing for just years at a time, people are definitely going to start getting demotivated. How are you feeling? I'm feeling pretty good, man. Traders aren't really interested in Omi. Yeah, trader, like, if you're a trader, Omi is not the right community for you at all. This is not the community to be in for Omi, for traders. Do you think Omi will hit 1 cent or 001 again? Yeah. It's not a matter of if it's going to hit. It's a matter of when. I think Omi is going to hit $1. I'm one of the few people who believes that Omi is easily going to hit $10 one day. It's not a matter of if it'll hit. It's a matter of when it'll hit. And I don't know. From what I've seen from the Omi team, from the Ecomi team, they're very patient. They take their time, but they do it right. They also do it right, and they are ahead in the licensing department, which really gives them a nice little cushion. But I don't know how fast we can expect certain things. So you can only have a certain level of certainty when it comes to this project. It's only a certain level of certainty you can have because there's so much that's unknown. Yeah, I'm just going to keep buying while it's low. And honestly, I see some more low prices coming in the future. So, I know that we have a few more token unlocks coming soon. We have some more founder tokens unlocks coming. So I'm going to wait till then to see if maybe the price is going to drop down again, drop down some more. So yeah, I'm not expecting any big price movements unless Veve announces something huge. And I don't think that they're going to be announcing anything huge anytime soon. So... yeah. But yeah, I mean, as long as these prices are low, this is going to be my main investment. Like, I haven't invested more into the stock market. I'm fine. I'm great with my positions in the stock market. I haven't invested more in crypto. I actually liquidated some of my positions in other cryptos. Like, I got out of Bitcoin. Not really interested in sitting in Bitcoin. I got out of VeChain. I got out of a lot of stuff and just really put it all into Omi. I'm still in some of the stuff that I believe in. I'm definitely in Ethereum still. I'm in Cardano, Dogecoin. I'm in that. I believe that the community behind that is going to drive that up. I don't feel like Dogecoin has any real reason to go up, but I feel like that community is a strong community, and just to prove a point, that they will probably push that up again at some point. So I'm in that. What else am I in? I don't know. Yo, Baked, I appreciate it, fam. Appreciate it. You own a lot of Veve collectibles? I don't own many. I only own 36. I own like 36 collectibles on Veve. Got a few duplicates too. I know I got a couple of Ultramans. Um I got a couple of things. How you feel? XRP. That's the other one that I was forgetting. I'm investing in XRP as well. I think XRP has some potential. I'm invested in that also. When did you buy Cardano? At what price? I have no idea. I bought it before this blow up though. I'm like up. I'm up a lot. Even with it dropping back down, I'm up a lot. So I bought it before all the hype. I was in early. I was honestly a miner. I was mining Cardano. Like that's how I got a lot of my Cardano. I was mining it as well. So and then I just decided to start investing and stop mining because I had to use my computer for other things. So I didn't want to waste my time mining when I could be working and generating way more money than I would be just mining. So yeah. Elon is working on Doge. Yeah. I know Elon is going hard for Doge. I hope he can make something happen. At the same time, he's definitely not a miracle worker. I hope he doesn't discover something that he has no control over and can't fix as well. But, I mean, we'll see. You think XRP goes to $12 once we get good news on the SEC? Yeah, it's definitely going to see another move up. It moved up like crazy. It moved up like crazy. My girlfriend's brother told us to get it. And I wasn't too sure on it at first. She got it. And yeah, I saw the gains that she got. Because she got, before this move up that it had, she was already in. So yeah. I saw what it was doing. I'm like, man, I probably should have got in, but I was buying Omi instead. But hey, how long do you think Omi will stay down? I think Omi's going to stay down for a good amount of time. I don't think that they can drop at the rate that we need. So let's really take a look at what we would need for Omi to constantly go up. We're going to need multiple drops a week. We're going to need tons of people on the platform. We're going to need the Veveverse released. We're going to need Omi getting burned around the clock. I can't see them dropping the Veveverse anytime soon. And I really don't think that, like, if they drop something like Disney, I do think we could shoot up out. Like, if they drop something like, if they confirm Disney and start doing Disney drops or something, we could probably shoot back up to all-time high because of hype. But I do think that we would slowly fall back down because that would just be hype from traders. So they could do things that's temporarily boost the price, but until we burn all this Omi and stuff that we have, until this circulating Omi goes down, like, the price will never really have strong support too high up. It's all going to be hype based. Months, I would say it's going to be down for months, honestly. I would say we have a good chance of it being around these prices for months. So yeah, I don't think that I think we need some, we're going to need some, like, some of Veve's heavy features dropped. Like, I think they need a bigger team. We'll probably see based on where Veve's at right now, I think we're going to start seeing real good movement probably by next year. So I don't know if we're going to see I don't know if we're going to see anything crazy this year as far as the price goes. We may see some huge jumps up because of hype from the crypto side. So if they start announcing these crazy IPs and things like that, but I don't think that they would even do that. I don't think that they would do that. There's no reason. There's no benefit to. They're not. Omi is not a pump and dump type of coin, so they have no reason to drop things in anticipation of traders coming in and boosting the token. I think that they would just wait until things are ready and release when things are ready, which means we could see this. We're probably going to see bigger movements around next year. But that's just my thoughts, and it's going to take them some time. I don't know how long it takes to even change blockchains. I think it's it may take a month or two just to switch over from where we are to Ethereum, Um, yeah. Said Ecomi 2022. Please be low to my next salary. Yeah, like I haven't even bought at this price right here because that's what I do. I always buy when I think it's low and it's not going to go back down, and it always goes back down. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to buy right now because I really do believe it can go back down into like the ones. I think we can see it around here again. So I'm gonna buy it in the twos or ones. I'm not going to I'm not gonna buy right now. Yeah, but NFT hype may be gone next year. It doesn't matter. That's the thing with Omi, and that's why I invested in this project. It's not about the NFT hype. It has nothing to do with the NFT hype. People don't even have to know that this is an NFT project whatsoever. Like I feel like that's a great thing for us to understand. But all people need to really understand is that if they get on Veve and buy their favorite brands, they will own that. That's a ownable. That's an asset you will own that will retain its value and potentially go up in value. That's an asset you will own that will retain its value and potentially go up in value. Like that's all we need people to know. It does not matter if NFTs are still going crazy, booming and stuff like that. And that's the power of licensing, especially licensing properly. Because if you license properly and market properly and things like that, it doesn't matter what the rest of the market is doing. You waiting for the ones, then you buying like 4 million. Facts. Facts. I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling, waiting. We should go back down. We should definitely go back down. I'm thinking AR, VR. Yeah. IP backed NFTs will stay above the coming hype crash. Yeah, the licenses, like people act like they don't know how powerful licenses are. Like licenses run the world. Everything is licensed. Everything is licensed. This water right here, licensed. All this stuff is like these brands, these logos just get slapped on here. You know this same water in here. So one of these big famous brands has this exact same water that's in this bottle. The only difference is a different logo is slapped on it so they can charge more. Like this is the world. Like everything is about IPs and branding. Everything. That Microsoft can charge more for their computers than some random up and coming computer company. It's just the way that it goes. It's Disney can charge more. Disney can charge a ton of money just to get into Disney World. Like it's just because it's Disney. It's like why would we go down when there's supposed to be a 12 out of 10 announcement coming soon? No announcement is going to sustain the price. It does not matter what announcement gets announced or anything like that. What you have to understand about where we are at right now, there is way too many tokens in circulation to sustain high number. Like what has been keeping Omi high is traders. There are much better projects for traders to invest in. We won't be able to rely on the crypto side of things to keep this afloat, which means what we are waiting for right now to really boost the price of Omi is for the Veve app to start doing what it's supposed to do, and the Veve app will slowly start pushing the price up by burning, by doing crazy burns. And then we'll have buybacks. The buybacks is where the real magic happens. But in order for buybacks to even start to happen, for it to make sense to have a buyback, there has to be insane burns happening right now. And there's not going to be insane burns happening until there's a lot of Omi, a lot of features available to burn Omi. So it does not matter news and stuff like that. Anytime like as the price boosted off of the news of them going to Ethereum because that was hype. This was not anything important. It's just hype. And as you can see, it's going to go back down from the hype. It does not matter what news happens. When news happens, it's going to go up, and then eventually it's just going to start slowly going back down. And as you can see, the news wasn't even crazy impactful before it's already starting to go back down. Are we going to KuCoin? I'm not sure. Said you gotta get that bottle of lotion by your bed out of the shop. Bro, what you mean? Oh no, you're not on that. So people can't use lotion no more? I don't use it in the bed. What you be on? Think they'll bring a Cavell NFT? Hey, if they cut me in on the profits, I would love that. Especially how they sell out real quick. Yo, do it. I mean, I would invest all the royalties back into Omi anyway, so. Yeah, like, if they announced like 4 new exchanges, if they announced Disney, Pokemon, all that stuff, we would definitely shoot up. We could shoot up to an insane amount. Like, honestly, we may be able to shoot up to like something completely unrealistic. Like, we could be able to get over like a penny, 2 pennies. Like, we may be able to get to like something like over 10 cents or something. Like, but it would go back down. It would crash just as hard because like. We need that, like, we need Veve to be what's driving the project upward. We want Veve to be what's driving the project upward, not hype, because hype comes and goes. Hype comes and then it's just gone. Like, we need what's sustainable. And like this hype that's like moving the price is not sustainable. So the price isn't even really relevant right now. I know people are just interested in knowing about the price, knowing price predictions and price targets and stuff like that. But the price will not be relevant for like at least a year. And maybe longer. It may not even be relevant for like 2 years. So you're gonna be thinking about those teeth later. Yo, she's the greatest. Oh yeah, I saw that. I didn't even know who Homies was, to be honest with you. But you think collab coming? That could be big. I think once that marketing team starts to go, then we will see price movement. But not really. I don't think so because they're not hiring a marketing team to target crypto people, and crypto people would be what would move the price right now. Those are the people who's going to put large sums of money into the token. What this marketing team is going to do is get it to average people, and what that's going to do is burn the token. It's not necessarily going to increase the price because the token burns. Like, let's say they get 100 million people. Let's say this marketing agency gets 100 million people on Veve today. The Omi token is still not going to move, because there's only so much content to buy. So 100 million people, there's not enough product for 100 million people, so they're not going to be burning a crazy amount of Omi. Even if you have, like, so the marketing team could do an amazing job, and it still wouldn't really move the price. We need content. We need the Veveverse. We need customizations. We need to start being able to build out a world for people to be there spending money at all times of the day. And we just don't have that right now. Like, So the marketing, maybe I think maybe if the marketing team can start marketing and Veve starts to grow at a rate where it does attract other crypto people because they're like, oh, all these people are joining this project, now I'm going to invest. It could spark the crypto side of things, like people to start investing more into Omi. But yeah, I'm not banking on it. Can we charge people to take pictures with our NFTs? What you mean? Who would pay for that? People out here just taking pictures next to Batman. I mean, if you can start yourself a business like that, go ahead, go for it. Go and charge people to take pictures next to their dream IPs. But alright, y'all, I'm probably finna head off of here. Find some content, do some more research. Definitely appreciate everybody who came through to chill with me, yo. I mean, we got some pretty exciting news. We saw Transformers was mentioned. It's always good to hear Dan talk a little bit more about the community and things to come and stuff like that and things that they're doing. I love hearing them talk about the project. And you can always hear the passion in the team's voice. That's also very motivational, being a token holder. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to see that. But you think Veve will let people loan out their NFTs via smart contracts? They've already confirmed that they're going to be doing that in the future. So yeah, they've already confirmed that's coming. I don't know how far in the future, but yeah. But all right, y'all. Y'all have a good night, good day, whatever time it is where y'all at, man. And I'm going to catch y'all a little bit later. Peace out, homies.